Hey, everybody, welcome back to day 4 of our EQ Accelerator, our 5-day challenge. So far, let's just recap a little bit. We have talked about self-awareness and journaling to become more aware of our emotions, self-regulation, understanding when we are triggered and how that affects ourselves and our moods. We've talked about motivation and how to stay motivated and kind of get out of a funk a little bit whenever life is challenging. And tonight we're going to talk about social regulation. So social regulation is essentially empathy. It's understanding, putting yourself into somebody else's shoes and understanding how your words could be affecting them, or potentially what's going on in their life, and having empathy and compassion for them during times of challenge. So this is also just a part of our makeup of our emotional intelligence. And some of the things that you want to think about are, when you're communicating with others, make sure that you're asking yourself, how will people react to your gestures, your body language? I mean, are you closing off your body, or are you more open and welcoming? You know, do you stand there with your hands on your hip and kind of furrowing your brow? Or are you open to receiving communication from other people? So gauging how your body is responding and your potential how people could potentially be reacting to that is an important part of social regulation. Being socially aware will help you to be more successful in communicating with others and achieving your goals. So in short, when you create win-win situations, when you can predict other people's emotional response before communicating with them. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself some questions like, how does this person feel right now? And how do I know how this person feels? And, you know, think back, and maybe you haven't experienced the same situation that they're going through, but can you think about how you would feel? Now, let me tell you, I don't want you to take over the conversation with another person, because that is not actually empathy. That is like turning it back to yourself. So let's say that somebody says, you know, I'm having this really bad day. You know, my dog died, and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, my dog died last year, and that was the hardest thing. And so what you do in that situation, and you keep talking about it, what you've done is you've just now taken the spotlight off of them and their grief and put it on you. And that is not the way that you show compassion to the other person. And so listening and letting them completely get out their thoughts and just holding space for them is really important ways to show empathy and compassion to others. I don't want you taking on their energy and their grief, but you do need to make sure that you are holding space and listening without having to turn it around and share your story of what happened to you in that situation. Or your friend, maybe somebody just shared this really sad story about something that happened in their life. And I've had people actually come in and like say, oh yeah, I had a friend that happened to, and go on and tell me a story about their friend that this thing happened to. And it completely takes the spotlight off of that person's grief and their challenge, and it makes the conversation about you. And that's not a way to show love and compassion for somebody else. So make sure that you're really thinking about that. You know, we all want to try to make it better and smooth it over and say, you know, I understand you, I feel you. But that's not always the healthiest response. It's really more healthy to just listen and hold space and say, like, how can I support you in this situation? Ask yourself How might I make this person feel better? And so this could be sending them a note. If they've experienced a loss, and they're, have children at home or something like that, potentially, offering to take the kids and things like that would be really helpful in those situations. So for tonight's homework, I want you to think about this. Are you a mentor to anyone? So can you think of a time where you mentored somebody and maybe you pushed them too hard or not hard enough? And so I want you to journal about that tonight. And if you haven't had an opportunity to be a mentor, have you had a mentor and you can think of a time where maybe they pushed you too hard or not hard enough? And how did that make you feel? How did that affect your life in the long term? And think about, have you had a time where you've had to make a tough decision, and were there people that were affected by that? How do you think that they felt in that situation? And what about when a team member is not performing up to par? Are you all about the numbers, or are you open to saying, hey, I see that maybe your numbers are down. Like, how can I support you? What's going on? Because sometimes people have things going on that we don't actually know about inside our workspace or our life. And if you can just open up your ears with some compassion, then that will really serve you and them well in the long run. So it's important to understand and consider the feelings of others when you're trying to make a good decision, but that's not the only factor. Others people's opinions are important, but at the end of the day, you are here to live your life. But make sure that you are, when you're working with other people and dealing with them, that you're giving them some compassion. So share with me in the comments or send me a message and let me know how this is going for you. Is this helpful? And if you want to have a conversation about anything specific in your life, I do have a little bit of time on my calendar to chat. So to schedule a call with me, I'll put the link in the comments. And let me see, do we have any comments here right now? Yes, Larry, definitely. You got to listen to understand, listen to comprehend. Don't listen to reply. That is not a healthy way to be. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me tonight. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about social regulation, and that's your ability to manage networks and build relationships. So juicy stuff. I hope that you have an amazing night, and we will talk soon. Bye.